introduction round. Like because you all don't know each other, and then get going. Claire, do you want to start?
Yeah, sure. So hi everyone, I'm Claire. I'm from France, and I'm a student, and I'm taking 1 year off in my studies to do a food science tour in India. So with my best friend, we are leaving in 2 weeks for a 6 months tour in India. So we are reaching Mumbai, and then we're doing a big tour. And so we are going to meet, we would like to stop at least in 10 places. So we already have 10 entrepreneurs that we want to meet, like the 10, not most important, but 10 people that we've been in touch with. And then yeah, we're going to go volunteer with them, and then film everything, and we're going to make a website with it.
Cool. And we're doing a video together with another girl who is in the US, where we present every month 3 entrepreneurs from 3 continents. So Africa, India, and the US that have solutions to the same issue. And the first one is on the 15th of September. So like we'd be happy if you guys all help sharing and spreading.
Amazing. Yeah, definitely. Looks really promising and quite interesting, I have to say. But yeah, definitely.
Cool. Thanks, Claire. Gianpietro?
Yes, I'm Gianpietro, and in the last 6 months, I was leading the food security cause in London, in the London hotspots. And unfortunately, we actually did the celebrative event just 1 week ago. So I will have a lot of things to tell you in the next minutes. But yeah, but you know, it's like it was a very successful campaign, and we reached about 150 social entrepreneurs. And of course, not all the people really came to our events, but you know, it was like quite successful. And you know, a lot of people in London, they associate makes sense to the food campaign. So that's why I was actually saying, you are the guys from the food thing. So it's like, so it was actually one of the main reasons that we decided that now we have to focus on other campaigns. So, but still, you know, the food security campaign is still strong, and we have already planned like probably 2, maybe 3 different hold-ups in the next probably month. So, and one is related to Min, because we didn't have the time. Min is one of the gangster related to the food security campaign in Vietnam, and I will probably facilitate the hold-up related to a company called Open Organics, and in probably 1 or 2 weeks, no, probably 2 weeks. And but you know, I'm gonna tell you a little bit more about the last event we did after our introduction.
Great, thanks. And who else is here? It's super dark. No? Isabel?
Hola.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Isabel.
My English is not very good, but I will try.
We will understand.
Hi all. I'm from Peru, and so I make 2 hotspots in Lambayeque. I live in Lambayeque, and so Lambayeque to Lima are 12 hours traveling by bus, and so for me is very difficulty travel to Lima and participate in the whole labs in Lima. But I interest in food security.
Great. So you know Helen, right?
Yes, yes, and I participate in a sense drink, and so we shit. Yeah.
Cool. And are you what do you do as a main occupation? Do you study or do you work or?
I study chemical engineering at National Federal Israel. Yes.
Cool. And so like your interest in food is just like that?
Yes.
Cool. Did you meet any interesting projects or entrepreneurs already in your city?
I know. ¿Puedes entender un poco español si no te lo explico en español?
I probably understood that. I don't speak Spanish, but I'm.
Okay. Yeah. Déjame
No,
entender.
don't worry. We can try to have another call also, perhaps with Helene, who can then translate. So for now, if you can't express something, don't worry. But until now, I understood you perfectly.
I would like to help una comunidad, no sé cómo se dice en inglés comunidad, a community in Lambayeque.
Your community.
Yes. Y, there are people that no have estudios superiores.
And don't have food.
Yes. Pero ellos son productores te lo digo en español mejor. They have many products que no le dan una.
Oh, okay. Are you talking about food surplus? Like that they have many products that they can't sell?
Que no le dan un valor agregado. Y ellos lo venden así como la materia prima, así como sale de las plantas. Y entonces lo que quiero hacer es trabajar con ellos. Y no me están entendiendo, ¿verdad?
I feel like I do get you, but I'm not sure. Do you want to try to find a translation for the expression?
Yes.
Of the general theme, and then we have the context. Cool. Well, so perhaps like we just carry on with some updates so you can discover a little bit also of what is happening around the world. And then we continue and try to figure out together how we can help you mobilize in Peru. So
what happening in Senegal?
What happens in Senegal? Well, so I arrived in Dakar 4 weeks ago, and basically for 5 months I'll be focusing on identifying entrepreneurs and projects here that have solutions from production to consumption, trying at every time to have some kind of macro vision on the projects to see how you can link them up and create some kind of farm to fork solutions. So how can you make those at once, the projects amongst themselves collaborate? So one example is of an activity that we did here with the Dakar City Hall, where we did idea emergence workshops with 10 female entrepreneurs of one of their networks. And amongst those, the companies that emerged from that, the company ideas, were 5 that were related to food security. 3 of them we realized we can easily actually regroup into one company. So there was one woman who wanted to do an urban garden with like micro garden. Another one that wants to do a school canteen with healthy and affordable school lunches, and another one that wants to work in the processing and transformation business. So we said, hey, why don't we group this whole these 3 initiatives into one company? They still keep their separate parts, but like that we have a farm to fork solution. So vegetables are produced in the garden, they're delivered to the school canteen, and they're processed by the woman that is in the transformation business. So this is a kind of logic that we're trying to find, to make links, which is of course not easy if you're like right in it, but it's super exciting because there's the first links are coming up. One of the big elements of the project is also to unite a network of big actors who then also we can integrate with our programs. So for example, big supermarkets who are now here more and more interested in having access to local products, but there is a problem of quality of the products that are produced here. There's a problem of them not having enough quantity to provide for the big distribution. So for example, one of the workshops that we will soon organize is on how to find solutions to still have small producers have their products in supermarkets, but perhaps create some kind of promotion campaigns around them, and like that compensate for the fact that there is not that many, that there's not feeds into the big challenges identified here. Is so like really the major one is what do you do with all the produce that is produced here? It's such a rich country. It's not at all like a desert country. You really have a lot of agriculture, you have a lot of amazing fresh products, but at once there is no innovation in processing. So most products are just consumed fresh. Now in the mango season there's just so many mangoes, and hardly anyone dries mangoes, makes chutney or all these things. So there's loads of innovation in that sense needed. On the other hand, it's the packaging, which is a big problem. So perhaps also like these factors that I mentioned, if any one of you wants to rebound on it and has ideas or cool examples, the packaging at once is super expensive here in Senegal because they don't have an own packaging factory, which is crazy in the whole country. It's of course all plastic, so that's a whole nother thing. So at once we want to explore what are the low-tech solutions that with which you can create packaging from recycling, because you have such a huge waste problem here, and from like organic matter.
I remember when I was in Ethiopia. There was a way just to. I think that in Senegal, of course the vegetation is a little bit different, but I think that those leaves are probably also over there. Okay, that is called false banana. So it's like So the tradition, the women, they were usually like keeping making a kind of like bowl with these false banana leaves, knitting like one banana and curving, so it's like you can contain actually dry things, but even like liquid things if they are not too liquid. But and this was actually quite traditional, and I think that could be like also. I think they're already doing as well in Senegal, but if it's not possible, maybe I can. Let me see.
Yeah, see if you find something. Like here's really little innovation in that field.
Yeah, and that is absolutely sustainable completely. And I actually find the video. I'm gonna maybe send it later.
Cool.
This video, because it's the way they're making like the cocoa, and it's actually what I was thinking, that the product I was thinking about. So yeah, maybe that could be, but of course, I mean, it's like. It depends, but that's absolutely something good, because also it's a way just those kind of they're like they are waterproof, so it's a kind of partially waterproof. So on one side, so they can be also like a very good way to be sustainable and in the same time transport easily.
Yeah, cool. Thanks. Yeah. So any of these ideas are welcome. Another big challenge just generally of these mainly women that work in the business is that they have no idea about marketing and commercialization. So that's why we're starting activities to do kind of hold-up-like workshops on marketing challenges. There is like a big challenge because people don't, like Senegalese people just don't like new things at all. They're really closed in terms of food. So it's a big challenge to create the right design and marketing of your products to be able to crack this wall. And we started working with some producers in the south of the country to do that. Interestingly, there is a food waste issue as well. So I do see individuals, consumers wasting quite a lot. Middle class, of course. So it's a thing that's going to be coming, and it's going to be getting really stronger. So I feel like there is a lot of sensibilization to do around that. Up to now, I don't have the time yet to do it, but in the future, I think that's one of the factors. And for example, on Friday, we're doing a workshop around the challenge of the communication between farmers and distributors, because farmers are not at all entrepreneurial here. They think like they produce and that's it. They put their products kind of like at their farm, and then they think that the distributors come and get it. So we're trying to design a solution for one of the companies, like a distribution company, that combines at once like cultural elements, some kind of community solution on how you can get the farmers to be incentivized to communicate, and a tech solution on like mobile tech. So we invite like experts on technology and NGOs, etc., to see how we can design some kind of solution. Doing quite some MKS rooms here. The next one is end of September with the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization, so that's cool. So we're getting our feet into the big for the big players, so that's really nice. And we'll see how it develops. I'll keep you posted.
Very nice.
Yeah, I don't know if I have any other concrete challenges. Yeah, so the whole distribution aspect, logistics, is of course a big topic here. How do you get the products from A to B? And I was thinking recently, I don't know if you guys know how they're called, Périgourmet, I think it's them. A startup in France that has created some kind of car or some kind of sharing economy principle, where if someone goes to a certain region, like for example the Bretagne region, which is really known for, I don't know, it's fish, and when you come back to Paris in your car, you bring products and you sell them, like there's a platform and someone can say, okay, I'm interested in fish from the Bretagne, and then say like, hey, I'm going there this weekend, so I can bring the stuff back. So it's some kind of informal sales system where you're just relying on the fact that the person is doing the drive anyways. So you're not using any extra resources. And I was wondering to what extent this kind of concept could perhaps be applicable or an inspiration in countries like Africa, where you do have a lot of traffic. People are doing loads of back and forth ways, and they're anyways they're transporting quite a lot of stuff. So to what extent could you commercialize this, and people could start ordering things through a platform because someone is taking it privately in their car? I don't know if you know of any similar solutions.
No.
Yeah.
Have you heard about something in data or not?
No, not at all. It's just an idea, actually, because I know this startup in France, and I'm wondering to what extent
what's the name again?
I think it's Périgourmet. I'm gonna look. I always confuse them. There's two names that sound a bit similar. I quickly check in the database. The database is starting to get really useful, by the way, guys. I don't know if you sometimes used it, but
yeah, definitely. I'm wondering on two things. How is the division of the ethnics?
In Senegal?
Because it depends on the country, because you know it's like sometimes they're like, I don't want to say division, but you know it's like is where there is a lot of like different kind of homogeneous ethnics in I mean I spent like quite a while of time in Ethiopia, and there is like you can have like ethnics with even like completely different language, but you know really completely different. So it's like I think that is like in Senegal is a little bit more homogeneous.
Yeah.
But
So in
that could
Senegal,
be,
almost. Yeah.
yeah.
Sorry. No, carry on.
And you know, it's like, I think that everybody is talking in Wolof.
Exactly. So
Yeah. So at
the
least there is not a
majority
problem in
of
that.
people knows Wolof.
Okay, but that could be like maybe a kind of I don't know how is actually I mean you should go like a little bit in my opinion also to understand a little bit in the next few months how is the how is actually like the internal demographics, because that could be like you know you can understand if it's actually quite easy to do some like kind of this kind of transports. I think is a quite a good idea because is quite a kind of easy way of transport, and is really based on a personal way.
Yeah.
But also another question is if you are like going to A to B, how many times you have to stop between A and B just to give like for example if they're stopping you on the street and say oh we want a little bit of your stuff, because it happened.
Oh, you mean like a hijacking? Somehow people just.
Exactly. That is absolutely happening everywhere. So
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I
that
didn't
could be a
make any
trouble. That could be a
experience.
trouble for the.
Could be one of the constraints. Yeah.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, it's just as much a risk. Like you have that risk anyways if you want to get stuff from A to B,
Yeah.
right?
You know, exactly. So, but you know, that way, you know, if it's not if it's just including people that are usually not in trade, that can put off the people of doing this because they're not used to this kind of situation. But the people who are usually trading, they knows that happen. The people who are not in trade usually, they may be like can be like a little bit suspicious about that. So it's like they can be like put off on the possibility. But yeah, I mean, in my opinion, it's a great idea. So it's like it can be like really like you can inspect a little bit and understand like in the next few months how it's going.
Yeah.
But is very it can be like really a game changer. So
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. So these were some of the news. If you want more, I think information. I think probably you all got the newsletter. There's also quite some info in there. And yeah, posting a lot. And yeah.
But that's
Cool.
good. I mean, like you're doing, considering you have been just for a month, you're doing so much stuff.
Yeah, like I have no weekends, but it's now or never. Like I don't have much time, so.
Yeah, no, I can imagine. I can imagine.
Cool. Claire, Gianpietro, one of you two?
Claire, would you like to start?
Sure.
Amazing.
Ladies first. Yeah, for the food sense tour, as I said, we are leaving in 2 weeks, October 1st. And for now, we identified already 10 entrepreneurs, but the idea is to we wanted to identify them before we reach India. So we at least we have the provisional itinerary, and then after that we plan on just going in these structures, stay there. We want to stay there at least 2 weeks more or less, and then spend as much time as we need with those people, and then we are aware of the fact that they will have the best recommendation in terms of contact and other initiatives and everything. So we are open on this, and then once we are there, we will just roam around also. And in each structure, the idea is to spend time volunteering with the the people to really understand their issues, their challenge, and what are their solutions. And then we got shoot interview and film everything. So we will have we just bought all the material to do that, the camera and everything. And we have one of my friends who is going to, I don't know the name in English, but to put the video together and make something nice. So this should be cool. And we will have once a month, one episode once a month, so 6 episodes. And so this is the idea of how we are going to spread the word and speak about our tour while we are in India. So from October to March. And then after the tour, we are going to spend another 5 to 6 months, depending on the school, because after that we have to go back to school. And this would be dedicated to a guide, a recipe guidebook. So we are going to write a recipe book, and then organize as much as events as we can with our school or with different partners. We have cook school who would like to invite us to make some cook class with their students, some stuff like this. So the second part is really dedicated to show people who are interested, to show them what we learn in India and not taught them, but like show them and explain them and find some solutions that we can adapt to France. Because, for example, the guidebook, the recipe guidebook, so it's not going to be just an Indian recipe book, because it's not our point. It's going to be really sustainable food practice and food recipe. So we want to, so we are going to, I mean, the recipe will be, of course, inspired by Indian people in Indian recipes, but for each recipe we will adapt the recipe with the local products and depending on the season. So we will change the recipe when it's summer, when it's winter. So the idea is really to extract all the information and everything that we learn in India, and then try as much as we can to spread the word in France and sensibilize, raise awareness on this topic. Yeah, and our target is more the students, because we are students, so we have a network which is already here. But then we will, I mean, the second part will depend on the first one, because depending on the impact in the eco we can make in the first part, we will adapt. And then if more people want to hear about what we learn in India, we will just open the circles and this is it. And yes, we've been put in contact with the Indian Make Sense community, which seems to be more present in Mumbai and Delhi. So Mumbai will be our first stop. So I think we'll start by making few sense drink and maybe one or less if we can, and Delhi also, but Delhi will be at the more or less at the end of the trip. And so this will be for sense drinks and hold up. And for hold up, we're going to be trying in Paris, I think at the end of the month. And we will love dream organize Make Sense Room, I think in Auroville. I don't know if you know. It's a city on the southeast coast of India, and there are many initiatives that we're going to see. And most of them, one of them, it's called the Solitude Farm. Is they have everything. They grow all their vegetables and everything. I mean, the farm is biodynamic, and they use many techniques such as permaculture that we spoke about in the first episode. And so they use a lot of cool practice that we really want to see. And there are one of the members who is completely fond of music, so it will be a nice way to link everything. So I think if we can make a Make Sense room, it will be there in Auroville. So we are working on this right now. and that's it. But the network doesn't seem really big, or at least not yet not very strong and close. So we don't know yet how it's going to be, and but at least we make our best to to organize some drinks and everything. But for now, we'll just take what comes and we'll see. So yes, I don't know if you know some cool initiative in India, but let us know, of course. And but for now, it's still preparation. We're doing a crowdfunding campaign, so this we could need a hand on spreading the ball also, because we haven't reached the point yet. But for now, we are in preparation and everything. So I will have much more content to share with you in 1 month. So,
how much money do you still need?
On the crowdfunding, we are targeting 4,500, and I think we are around 3,800, something like this. But we still have 10 days, so it should be all right.
Yeah, and I was wondering about the book.
Yeah.
You're gonna publish it in French and only in France?
Again, depending on what how much money we have, and how we feel it can be useful to other people, and obviously it can be nice, but depending on the impact and the echo we can make first in India, we'll see how many people would be interested in that. But we would love, I think at least it will be in French and English, and then after we'll see. But I think we will do both, and same for the web series. It will be when we speak, it will be in French. When we film ourselves, and because the web series will so for the video aspect, there will be the video that we do together with Vicky and the food senso in the US. So this will be really focused on one entrepreneur, and the web series that we make ourselves will be more how we can share our experience, the trip and everything, more the fun aspect linked also with the work we do with entrepreneurs. So when we speak with each other, it will be in French, but always subtitled in English, and all the interview will be done in English, obviously, because we speak English. So the video will be in English, and
cool. Yeah, because I was wondering, even for like the big diaspora communities, Indian communities, like in England and stuff.
Yeah.
Would of course be like also communities where we have access to.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would be really useful to do it in English.
Yeah. Everything will be translated, even the articles that we're going to write, because we are finishing our website, and so we're going to publish pictures and online articles, and also it will be both in French and English. So yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, and yeah, we are doing our launch. Our first event, you can say so. It will be in 10 days for the end of the crowdfunding campaign and our departure. The flower drink, you can say. So this will be in a collaborative bar that we just met in Lille, in the city where we're from. So this will be more. It will be more something like private. Not it will be public, but more with our friends and family and close partners. So it will just be. We will present the food sense too. We'll do a short presentation, but then after it will be just casual and drinks. We will not make any like big event or anything, because we want to keep at least the money, the little money that we have, the money for all the events that we will do after the tour, because we want to to focus on the events after the tour.
Okay, great. Yeah.
About the lunch event, so I think it's really like it.
Cool. Super exciting.
It's really amazing.
Gianpietro, if you wanna carry on, unless anyone has any questions.
How did you start with the idea of doing a sense tour? Because a lot of people would like to do it, but they don't have any, like, and what was like the most important, most difficult parts that you think that people should consider when they're doing a sense tour?
I think it really depends on who is doing the sense tour, because, for example, so I speak for us, we come from what I think was a nice school, but who turns out to be the worst nightmare, because our school was tried everything they could to prevent us from doing the tour. So for us as a student, it was our school who was afraid of us doing this and living for 6 months in India, blah blah blah. But I guess the most difficult part, of course, the finance part is not always very easy because we were going to spend, I think, quite some money on the video part, because we want to bring back as much as we can, as much as memories and videos and pictures that we can. So this costs a lot. The picture, the camera, microphone, and everything costs way too much. So the finance part is maybe not easy, because I mean, when you speak about sustainable food to French companies, it's not always what they want to hear. So this can be a little bit difficult. But I mean, finance obviously for us was the most difficult part. But otherwise, there is no. It's just, I mean, preparation is already very exciting, and I think that the preparation teaches you a lot. So, but maybe I don't know how. So, have you heard about people wanting to do a sense too, but not crossing the like doing it, or maybe
Well,
there is something we can do?
once in a while, there is always like people who really want to start, but at the same time, probably finance is always like a big problem. But it can always be like selling a good way, like the way you are presenting to and pitching to maybe like some companies can be like sponsorship is true. But I mean, if you're already like almost like starting this tour, it will be like means that you really managed to do this. So congratulations. Yeah.
Going to happen. It's just that now we are in the mindset. I mean, now we have already enough money. We saved a lot of money and everything, so we know we have the money to make the tour. So it will happen in any case. It's just that now the most money we have, the best tour we can make, and also especially the most we can bring much more. We can do much more things in India, and we can bring back much more things. And this is what we want, because we want to, once we learn what we want to learn in India, after that we want to bring back and then use it as much as we can in France and everywhere else. But we want to learn as much and spread as much as we can. So let's see.
Good job.
Cool.
Very good job.
And maybe I was so I don't know how much you're related to this and everything, but we are. I mean, for us, we are still a little bit new in Make Sense, because we are not in Paris, so we haven't even met face to face. But I don't know how. Maybe we don't know exactly how to get not how to use Make Sense, but how to be related to Make Sense, because we say, I mean, we are like, our project is food sense too, so completely related to Make Sense. But sometimes it's hard for us to see to find our spot in Make Sense, if you see what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Like we don't Yeah. Sometimes it's hard to see how a sense tool can be related to make sense, and how much like visibility and help we can get from make sense, and how much, you know, in exchange, how much you should bring back. You see what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, it's like in general with Make Sense, it's really all about like your own initiative. So it's kind of you get as much in return as much you give. So the fact, like, if you put, if you make posts in the gang, or if you make posts about entrepreneurs, and you interview them about their challenges to do hold-ups, that's where, people will share your information, people will rebound, etc. So this is really like it's super natural in that way.
Yeah.
It's difficult to just like to share, for example, from the main page once that you're doing the tour, but if in the tour there is no content related to Make Sense, so if you don't organize sense drinks or hold-ups or MKS rooms, then of course it's a bit empty. So this is really the main thing. And then also asking, like, if you're asking for like projects, if people know projects online, etc., it's super important to do that once in a while, but it's kind of the upload download thing that we have with Make Sense as well. So, like if you always just ask for information, for example, but you would never share like super innovative projects that you discovered, or share the stories of the entrepreneurs you work with, etc., then people will also stop responding to your posts. But it's kind of natural, and I think the moment you get there, I mean, it's also super useful anyways for your content if you identify the challenges of the entrepreneurs. And then you can see what you want to do with it, if you have the time to organize hold-ups for them, or just, say, like, it doesn't even have to be a real hold-up, but you say you do like a brainstorm session, or what we do here a lot is like a diagnostics of just really 15 minutes conversation where you identify where the problem really lies. It's like that. And then put it online, and even, perhaps organize like online hold-ups or whatever. If you don't find volunteers, I think it can really add value to your...
Yeah, definitely.
Also to your content.
Yeah. That's why we look forward to going in months we are planning. Now we just want to go there and actually do all those things. Speaking of Make Sense event, how was we are going to have I think we are going to co-organize a hold-up in Paris, so that we can be trained for the hold-ups, and Sense Drink should be okay. But for the Make Sense room, how was it for you to organize it? How did you manage to do?
Well, I kind of started to do the first MKS rooms like 2 years ago. So it's basically actually the main activity that I did when I got to know Make Sense. So for me, it's like I organized more MKS rooms than hold-ups.
Okay.
But so at once there is also trainings. There's not really regular trainings online, but there is already a manual on MKS rooms, which is really good.
Yeah.
I can send it to you. Or do you have it already?
Yeah, I have it. I'm going to. Yeah, I have it.
You have it. So we're gonna do a training here soon. So I'm gonna do a training on MKS rooms. If you're interested, I can record it or something and send it to you. It's really easy. It's just like I'm just sharing a bit of like best practices of things that are working well or not. But it's really it's not like there's like 3 or 4 rules on the methodology, and the rest is really up to you.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
The moment you organize it, you just get in touch with Ronan or Simon or Vincent just to tell them to add the event to the MKS room. Yeah. And that's it. Okay. And then they can help you as well.
Cool.
So, Gianpietro, do you want to tell us about your food security closing event?
Yes, London from September. Okay, September, London, the 3rd. So it's like 2 weeks ago. Oh no, 10 days ago we had like our celebrative final event for so far for the food security cause. We did after Farmer of the Future event. We thought that because we had so many new contacts and so new, like a lot of like a new entrepreneur just contact us just to have a little bit more a deeply understanding about Make Sense. So we said, oh, why not to organize another new one or new things? And one of our event, but something different. And one of our volunteers, Adrienne, that is already like facilitated with me a few events, find a very nice place in the center of London. Is a kind of private garden where they're also like they're doing like where you can do a lot of activities, and then we decided to go full on that. So we had only like 6 weeks, but like under the coordination of like Adrienne Rohan, that is one of our oldest member and like actually one of the founders of the chapter in London, and me. And actually, I was very pleased because the number of volunteers really increased. Like during these 6 weeks, we had like about 10 volunteers that help us to organize a great events, and they've been very active in the last 5 weeks. So we managed to do a big event. So we started at 9 o'clock and we finished about 8 o'clock in the night. So more than 12 hours. And because it was actually not only a way to be celebrative of the activities, but also all the activities we did in the last 6 months, but also a kind of reflection about food, we decided to mix a lot of different kind of activities. So we started with yoga in the morning, and with a visit also, and also yoga in the afternoon, just to people let relaxed. But also after that, we did 3 hold ups with 3 incredible social enterprise. One of the name is like Eat Club. There is a kind of they are making a kind of positive change to the life of young people through joint preparation and consumption of delicious food. That we did an hold up for them, and also they help us to through all the day to cook a lot of food waste that we collected through Fair Share, another company. So we had that. We cook all together these simple dishes, only like generally veggie dishes, and then we had another hold ups with Too Good to Go. It is like we already helped them like in April, and is an app that is actually now at the moment is getting very famous in Europe and in part of the Europe and in the US. And they're a kind of team there between a restaurant who has food waste and people who actually want to eat well, but at the same time can't manage to eat like on the price regular food. So they actually they are the matchmaking of this restaurant and the consumer. So it's like he's definitely helpful for the food waste agenda. And also Being Rich, they are doing something similar to Eat Club, and they are trying to inspire new people doing not only food courses, but also helping them to understand the value of the food. And they won the Urban Food Award and the Footprint Award. So it's like as a kind of one of the most sustainable street food vendor. So it was kind of quite intense. Then we talk a lot. We have been a little bit more specific in the topic, and we did like also a few seminars. One was with one of our partner that probably VC knows Vicky knows already, that is crowdfunding, and they did a seminar about crowdfunding in the food sector. they are launching their own project actually in September. So hopefully they're gonna smash, because they're very good, and the founders are incredible people, so they deserve success. And also, because we want something even more holistic, we have a permaculture expert that came and gave us two seminars about two little things. One, how to use food waste to dyeing, so how to color tissues and textile with the food waste. And the other was about edible plants that you can also use as medicines. So she make this kind of very practical seminars on how to create balms using like bee product and herbs. So it was quite interesting. And then at the end, we did a kind of public debates based on Make Sense as MKS Room way, but without music, unfortunately, about how to raise the awareness about the value of food. And on this, we had 4 important partners, because we had Food Assembly, Too Good To Go, Olio, and Soul Share, all partners that we had through these 6 months. And it was a very lively and very intense debate on that. So we saw the different part of this, and consider it was like the value of food is quite broad. There were like we have a kind of like very intense debate, because few people from the crowd was quite challenging, because they asked a quite interesting question, and from their own experience. So, but every people, all the people really enjoyed that. Also, we did a mini quiz as well, because one of our partners couldn't participate to our event, so they decided to give us like some books as well. So we did like kind of mini quiz where like some people won a book. And now, because some of the social enterprise was in total 60 people participated to the event, with plus the volunteers plus the partners. So in total, in like I think in the deep moment of the day, we had like about 70 people. So it was quite good. And 2 social enterprise asked her to do like some new hold-ups in the next month. One would be London Tent, that was already like one of the participants of one of the partners of Farmer of the Future. They are doing actually matchmaking between who want to garden and who has the garden but doesn't have the tools. So it's like people who want to garden and people who has the garden but doesn't have the time to garden. So, and the other one is also Food Assembly as well. They're like using food waste. I think a Food Assembly is also in France. I think we already talked in one of our event, but anyway, our call in the last few months. And also there will be always the possibility. We want to close this also with our connection between us and Hanoi hotspot with Min. We were supposed to do an hold up about open organics project during the hold up on the 3rd, but it came a little bit too slow, all the process from the interviewing and finding the right challenge. It was too broad, so we decided to wait a little bit, but to do like a specific event only for her, so just to help her to make her project stronger. So hopefully, but we anyway, we have a little bit of connection, because for 5 minutes we had like a call, and we went around all these the place we were, and we interviewed for people, and with actually me present and on the mobile. So it was quite interesting, and all the people really like enjoyed the fact that that makes sense is a community and a global community. So hopefully, like a lot of people will participate to a rolled up that will probably take place in 2 weeks, and that's it about it. But yeah, as I said, it was a very like 6 intense months, especially for me and other 2 or 3 people who were really like focused on and really got interest in food waste and food security in general. And but at the same time, we know that even if it's like a kind of conclusive day, but in the same time, we know that we will continue the event and the cause. So I will definitely be happy to continue to be in charge of it, but hopefully, like other people from the community will join me, and other people I know that will continue this effort with me in the next years. So yeah, let's see what is going on. And also, it's so at the moment, food is so great in like the food security agenda is so into London. Londoners are really like waking up and thinking, is like, and really realizing how food security is an important issue. So we can absolutely block everything. But we have to change a little bit, because a lot of people now recognize Make Sense in London as the people of the food security. So we have to go back on the people of the social enterprise, a little bit more general. But definitely in the next few months and years, we'll definitely like continue the efforts. So yeah, finger crossed.
Super cool, really. Thanks so much. I think you shared in some article on the last event, but are you planning to share to do some kind of blog post on, like, I don't know, your personal experience or the experience of you and I don't know who else, like Ronan and Shaman, or I don't know who else was involved.
I'm already Adrian will definitely like write probably a post in the next few weeks about the last event we did, but I want definitely to write a very long post about food security and what happened in London in the last 6 months in the Make Sense community through the food security agenda, because yeah, it's something that we absolutely have to tell, because at least hopefully will be a little bit inspiring for other communities. So let's say, but yeah, but being like a part of this in the last 6 months sometimes was quite tough, because having like few jobs and being not only like be a professional and also a volunteer, and trying to be both of them in as a kind of like a full time has always been sometimes a little bit tough. But you can discover so much about in general one topic that interests you, and at the same time you can really like find like people that are really trying to change the system, and this is probably one of the most important things that you can discover through Make Sense. So yeah.
What a nice pitch. Isabel?
Yes.
Isabel, are you still here? Could you follow a little bit the different stories?
Yeah. Okay. Here in Chiclayo, I've done collabs last year and this year, and I would like to help community Lambayeque Cañaris, because they don't have higher educations, and people don't give added value to their products. For example,
so there's a lot of imports.
Yes, they produce granadillas, huaymanto, quinoa, potatoes, and others, but sell individual, ¿cómo se dice? Individualmente.
Yeah, individually.
Yes, individually. I talked with the mayor of that community and told me they have 7 associations, but none worked. Then I would like to work them with them, develop products to sell and receive extra money to help them meet their basic needs their children to study and have extra material to reinforce what they study. What I like to do is to link with the community, develop products, and link with education and organic agriculture.
Great. So what you're saying is that the community in your village, or like in general, perhaps in Peru, is also really they're really dependent on food imports, although there is local products available, and they don't choose the local products and not good quality, right?
Yes. They are they produce. Yeah, I don't know.
But perhaps you can, because we have to wrap up now, but perhaps we can plan another call with Helen, or you, and then we can try to identify like what the activity is you want to do. Is Helen helping you?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Because we would all love to find out more about your involvement with the food security. So perhaps we can plan another call.
Yes, sure.
Yeah.
This is very important for me.
So like this, we will have Helen as a translator or something. Cool. Okay. Well, thanks guys for joining. We'll share the call on the page, and yeah, I'm happy to find out more about the coming activities you guys are all planning. You will definitely hear a lot from Claire and me, because we'll be meeting a lot of entrepreneurs, so we'll be posting the challenges and inspirations that we encounter.
Amazing.
And I think now, we kind of reached a level where we can really benefit from all the kind of information that we built individually in our different hotspots. So one of the challenges is on getting, like, mobilizing the other people of the mobilization to get back on board, because there's been some of them who have been a little bit absent from the calls, often because of time zone, etc.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll try to plan the next one such that more people can join. It's not easy. Okay. Cool. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Have a lovely day.
Thank you, Vicky.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Take care. Have a lovely day.
Bye-bye.